arms fall off till your abs get hard and your moral of the story.
What's happening, guys? It's Nick Bolet from Bolet Brigade, back with another episode of Arete. So, episode 2, another full week of training footage. Before I get into talking about the training footage, I want to give you guys the video of the week. So this week's video of the week is Garrett Blevin's bench press tips, which he posted about a week ago. I'm sure he probably has a lot of bench press tip videos on his channel, but I'm specifically talking about the one from about a week ago and before about a week ago. Anyway, so he basically gives 3 really good tips. The first one is about your setup and the way you can set up so that you never have to worry about your hips coming off the bench and therefore getting disqualified for that lift. The second tip is actually a 2-part tip, I guess, and it is about how to wrap your wrists with your wrist wraps if you use wrist wraps. I think, in my opinion, this is actually the most useful tip that I got from the video. I mean, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's a very intense method of wrapping your wrists. I mean, it's unlike any way that you could possibly be wrapping your wrists as of right now. So if nothing else, I would say that tip alone is worth checking out the video. And then sort of the other part of that is just basically a tip on how your wrists want to be in line with your elbows and you want your forearms to be perpendicular to the floor. And he sort of talks about how you can do that and why that's important. So with that being said, you guys can feel free to click out of the video now if you don't want to watch my mediocre lifting. But if you do want to watch my mediocre lifting, now's the time that I'm going to get into talking about it. So the first thing that you saw were my first, third, and fifth sets of 5x5 at 265 pounds. So it was something I've recently started doing as I started recording my last set RPE. So that is something that I got from Bryce Lewis. And so I wrote down that last set RPE was about a 7, which is pretty good. I don't think I've ever hit 5 reps with 265 at such a low RPE before, so that's really a good sign. And I didn't get any bench press footage on this day. However, I filmed the first and last sets of my deadlifts, and today called for an AMRAP set on deadlifts. On my last set, I ended up getting 10 reps with 385 pounds. So I got 395 pounds for 10 reps last week, but this was the first week of my volume block. Or no, this was the first day of 5s on my volume block, so the last day of the first week. So I sort of took a step back with the weight, and I'm going to amp up the weight going forwards. So yeah, only got 10 reps, but I was very happy with that, considering all the volume that I had done beforehand. Plus, I had already accumulated quite a lot of volume this week. This week of training, I ended up hitting almost 22,000 pounds of deadlift volume and almost 20,000 pounds of squat volume. So, pretty high volume week. And so then I moved on to my day of 9. So 3 sets of 9 on these lifts. Also pretty low RPEs on this day. The squat, I said it was about a 7. Bench about a 7, and you'll see deadlifts were a little bit tougher, probably around an RPE 8 or 8.5. You know, I got to a place where I was almost grinding weights out. So anyways, just want to point out for you guys that if at any time I only have 2 sets filmed, it's going to be the first and the last set. I'm going to do my best to get the first and last set filmed of every exercise that I do. Probably never going to show more than 2, maybe 3 sets of any given exercise, just because I think it gets a little boring and monotonous, especially because I'm not like changing the weights set to set. And so yeah, all my lifts this week that you're watching felt really good. However, the next week you'll see me pushing myself to some RPEs that I haven't been to in a while. I actually hit RPE 9 twice this last training week. However, this last training week is the last week of my volume block, so that was I'm looking forward to sort of tapering down and doing a little intensity block before I get into testing some maxes. So you'll see the guy standing behind me on the bench press right now. His name is Derek. He is, I guess, the only consistent training partner that I have down here at school. We don't train together every day. We train together about once a week right now. But he is definitely an awesome training partner to have. He's actually a sociology professor, so he's not a student. So it's pretty cool to be able to lift with somebody so mature and so knowledgeable. We can have really intellectual conversations, which is something I really enjoy, even when I am trying to do something as animalistic and instinctive as squatting, benching, and deadlift. It's nice to be intellectually stimulated at all times. Actually, yesterday, he runs more of a conjugate method, and he's getting ready for a USAPL meet in Charleston, South Carolina. So I suggested that he did a reverse band squat for his max effort lower day yesterday, and he squatted 455 for a single reverse band. So that was and it was high bar also, because he can't squat low bar. It's been really bothering his elbow the last few times he's been trying to. So that was pretty awesome, because he weighs I want to say he weighs like 155 pounds. So it was a pretty incredible squat. I mean, just the fact that he could hold that weight on his back was actually pretty impressive in itself, because I honestly think that if I tried to unrack even 405, I'd probably just collapse in half. So big shout out to him. He's a big supporter of me and the channel, which is really cool. So like I said, yeah, training all this week was really good. Something that I'll talk about on the deadlift that I really was trying to do this week was just trying to keep my arms as long as possible. The longer your arms are, the shorter the range of motion. So I was working on sort of holding the bar in my finger, in my knuckles instead of in my palm, and also just focusing on keeping my elbows extended at all costs. But anyways, this commentary is coming to an end. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys watch that bench press tips video with Garrett Blevins. I guarantee you that it'll make your bench press stronger. I'm not going to guarantee it's going to add weight to it right away, because that would be irrational. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.